If there's one piece of advice that I could give you that I think every successful person understands, it's that contemplation doesn't solve anything. It doesn't make you any better than you were the day before, and it doesn't make you any better than other people. And it's really easy to think that just because you are doing research and you're analyzing and you're thinking about the best business model to start, you're somebody who is a critical thinker, you kind of get on this high horse and you're like, okay, I'm making progress, when really you're just distracting yourself from taking any actions to make progress. And in my life, when I've had times where I've kind of stalled out and I haven't been progressing as quickly as I want to, it's because I get caught in between action. I get caught in between two decisions and I just start thinking too much. I start contemplating, okay, should I continue on with this business model or should I do something else? And when I think back to those times, if I were to just decide quicker, I'm gonna go in this direction and I'm gonna put my full energy, attention, and focus into going in that direction, I would have progressed a lot quicker. And this first arose really when I wanted to start a business. You know, you have endless options. You can start a drop shipping business, you can start TikTok Shop, you can start copywriting, Amazon FBA, Airbnb, and hundreds of other random little online business models. But if you don't just pick one and stick to it, then you're never actually going to make progress, and there is no best one. I'm sure I've even made videos where it's like, this is the best online business model. Newsflash, the best online business model is the one that you fucking pick and you stick to. And if a different opportunity arises in doing that, you take that route and put your all into the new thing. So you're gonna reach these points along your journey where you're just not doing anything because you have an abundance of options or two different directions that you could go in. Like, I originally started a basketball trainer marketing agency. It was like an SMMA for basketball trainers. And about a year into that business, I had reached a point where I felt like my income wasn't really correlating with the amount of work that I was putting in and the amount of knowledge that I had and skills that I had in that field. So I started thinking about jumping ship and kind of beginning a new business that felt like it would better align with my skill set. But instead of just doing that, when the writing was on the wall, I sat there for months, like kind of half-assing the main business, but also not putting much energy into starting a new business and making that pivot effectively. So it took a lot longer. It probably took an extra year for me to do that and then eventually get up to 100K a month in that new agency, working with people that sell info products. This isn't just a problem that you face when you're a beginner, it's something that you constantly have to battle with. Like, if I am not putting my all into the main vehicle, or, you know, let's say it's unrelated to business, you're in a relationship that you don't want to be in, or you're thinking about moving to a new city and then you just start analyzing all of these different places that you go to, or like you're half-assing that relationship that you're in and it's distracting you from getting out of it and making a better life for yourself. You know, this indecision that results in a lesser effort will keep you stuck forever. Oh, somebody wants to get out of their 9-to-5, so they kind of try to start trading. They kind of try to start a new business model in their free time, but do they ever actually commit to it? I'm not saying you have to completely drop the main thing, but commit to actually fucking doing it and trust yourself. You have to trust that, okay, if I actually put my energy and focus into this, something good will come of it. That doesn't mean it's gonna work out. It doesn't mean it's gonna go exactly as you plan, and it won't. Like, that, it's never gone exactly as I planned. There was a point where I thought I was gonna be a videographer. I was like, this is gonna be my fucking business. I know I can do this, and I know I can make hundreds of thousands, millions of dollars doing this. And then that led me into the next thing because I accumulated a few skills along that journey, and I just had a better perspective. I had a better vantage point because I just started. I tried to make money, I figured out one thing, I started meeting people, and I got a better understanding of how business worked, and then that led me into the basketball trainer agency, and that's where I had my first some level of success, where I was making 10, 15, 20K a month with that, and then I accumulated more skills, more connections, again, more leverage in that business, And that's what helped me build the next one and get to 6 figures a month. And that's just how it works. That's like a natural law of the universe of business success. Like nearly everybody that I know who is wildly successful started with something that is fairly different from what they're doing now. It was probably a service-based business. It was probably something where they had a lot of time and they could go and build a skill set, but they didn't have much leverage. So they started offering some service to a business owner, and that's how they started to put money in their pocket. And then over time, you get more leverage. You start building your own personal brand. You get more connections, and you find a higher leverage play. Maybe that's coaching. Maybe that's a software. But it starts by making the conscious decision to actually begin and actually put your all into it and trust that you will figure things out on the fly. If you can do that, if you can just have this kind of calmness to you in knowing that you're not gonna ever know exactly how most things are gonna work out, but you are the type of person who just has this figure it the fuck out ability. You can move to a new city and make connections and meet new people and build your dream life. You can start a new business and figure out how to get clients. And when you get a client, you can figure out how to fulfill. And that all just comes down to this internal conviction. And if you're thinking right now, well, how do I build internal conviction? That's the fucking problem. You can't think about it. You can't watch a YouTube video that's gonna help you believe in yourself more. You have to have enough courage to start taking actions before you feel ready. One of my favorite quotes is courage precedes confidence. If you wanna get really good at something, you have to get a lot of reps. You have to do it a lot, obviously. But how are you supposed to do it a lot when you don't have any experience and you don't know how to do it? Well, you just fucking start. And then shit happens, and then you get a little better, and then you learn from this mistake and that mistake, and you get rerouted, and you have to jump over a hurdle, and you climb your way out of this fucking path that you've carved for yourself, and you're like, holy shit, this was pretty cool. I understand what I'm doing now, and it's a cool journey, and it's like the universe will reward you for having that internal conviction in yourself and just continuing to chug along even though you are underprepared, even though there's no rule book. Success has very few rules. There's people who are making money doing all kinds of shit, who have all kinds of different problems and different natural inclinations and are completely different from you and will take a completely different path from you. But that's okay. Like the problem with entrepreneurship is it's not like school. There is no rule book, and you're probably accustomed to being told what to do, to being told, hey, you gotta show up at this time on this date, and if you just study and you do what you're told, you'll get a decent grade. So when you go into the real world, you're like, oh, I just wanna be told what to do. I just want other people to give me conviction because I can't bring that out of myself. But that's the thing. You have to. If you ever wanna be successful, you have to create and cultivate that internal conviction, and you have to decide, okay, I'm gonna do this thing. It probably won't go that well. I'm probably gonna suck in the beginning, but that's okay. As long as I start getting reps, as long as I start moving, good things are coming. That's how I feel even in my business right now. Like, I look at some of my friends here in Miami and I'm like, bro, these people are making like a lot more money than me. And it makes me a bit anxious sometimes, thinking like, oh, I might get left behind if I don't start to really increase my income here. I don't wanna be the odd one out. I don't wanna be the poorest one in the friend group. And even right now, I don't know exactly how I'm gonna 5 or 10x my income. I don't know how I'm gonna get to 250K a month or 500K a month. There's a few different routes I could take, and I know all of them can work, but I can also find a reason to talk myself out of all of them. I can also find a reason why scaling my agency to $250,000 a month would be a fucking headache, and I don't want to do that. And I can make the same argument for coaching or for any other business model that I want to start. And that can keep me stuck for a while. And the thing is, in times of uncertainty, the only way to create clarity is through action. So I know that if I am making content, if I'm connecting with people, if I'm getting new clients, if I'm sharing this journey on social media, this will only help me, whether it's in my agency, whether it's in my coaching business, whether it's in an entirely different business that I don't see or don't have access to right now. I know that at least that's moving me forward. At least that's putting me in a better position to eventually make more money. And if I can just be consistent in doing this, everything will eventually become clear. And it's a similar story for me on TikTok right now. I started making like these satire comedy skits on TikTok maybe 4 months ago. and they've like gotten a ton of fucking views. And I know that there's something that I can do there. I know that there's a business on the back of all of that attention. But like right now, I'm not making any money from TikTok and I don't really care to, but that is in the back of my mind. Like, okay, if I'm consistent with this, like that's another seed that can eventually sprout. So that's typically how it goes. And if you can just have that conviction in yourself to take consistent actions and plant a lot of these seeds, eventually some of them will sprout, but it won't happen on the timeline that you want it to happen. It won't happen the way that you want it to happen, but it will. And if you don't quit, and if you don't fool yourself into thinking, oh, I need to do more research, I need to contemplate, I need to analyze, I need to pick the perfect thing and at the perfect time, and oh, crypto's pumping, maybe I should do crypto instead, then you'll win. But all of these distractions are kind of there for a reason. That's how they weed out all the people who aren't meant to be entrepreneurs. Some people need to be told what to do and they need to show up on time and they need other people to give them direction because they can't muster up that internal will, that internal courage, that internal trust. But if you're watching this, I believe in you. You can. You just have to trust yourself. You just have to stop watching videos like this and get off your ass and start fucking moving. Start taking actions. I don't care what it is. Just identify one thing that you can do every single day that you know in some way will help you. And if you're a beginner, that's probably going to be outreach because you're probably trying to start some sort of service-based business. And if you want my coaching, you should go to the description and check out Artisan Lab. But if you can just move, despite the fact that you don't really know where the fuck you're going, despite the fact that you're like, oh, I don't know where to start. I want to start a business, but you do know where to start. It's fucking obvious. You learn a skill and then go find people that might need that skill. What else is there? Like, that's how you end up watching all of these videos and joining all these coaching programs, and that's why the whole coaching market exists, is to confirm to other people what they already know to be true. But a coach telling you it makes you feel better, so you're like, okay, now I have the conviction to actually do it. Which is ironic because I have my own coaching program and I work with people who sell coaching programs, but that's the whole fucking thing. It's just babysitting for adults. Hell, I've joined a bunch of coaching programs and it's the same thing every time. It's like, I'll hop on a call and they'll be like, yeah, do exactly what you just told me that you thought you were supposed to do. And I'm like, okay, I'll actually do it now because you told me to, sir, you all-powerful, all-knowing coach. Like, then you actually do it, then you actually get results, then you're not poor, then you can live in Miami and drive a cool car and live your dream life and, I don't know, do whatever the fuck else you want with your time. But anyway, thanks for watching. Love you. God bless. Share this with your grandma. Share it with a friend or a neighbor or something. Bye.